Hi, this is Keith Pabian from Pabian Law. This week, we're going to talk about the unprecedented action that the U.S. Department of Labor took on October 31st. So just to put this into context, today is Wednesday, November 5th. So on Friday, October 31st, on Halloween, for the first time ever, the U.S. Department of Labor announced that despite the ongoing government shutdown, it was going to resume visa processing of H-2B visas, H-2A agricultural visas, green card applications, and H-1B year-round visas. Normally, during a government shutdown, or I should say always during a government shutdown, the U.S. Department of Labor is closed because it is not a fee-funded organization. Conversely, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, which is the U.S. Immigration Agency, they stay open because when we file petitions, we include government filing fees that funds that agency. So, U.S. Department of Labor is usually closed during the government shutdown. Today marks I shouldn't say celebration. Today marks the day where the government shutdown is now the longest in history. And as a result of that, or in part due to that, the U.S. Department of Labor is now resuming processing due to this unprecedented announcement. So, let's talk about the whys and the whats and the whens and all of those other things. In terms of why they did this, there's a few things that I think, because the government hasn't publicly announced why. First of all, there's been a lot of pressure from the agricultural industry that farmers can't tend their crops, can't do their jobs, and they need foreign labor to be able to do so. That's been a focal point during both Trump administrations, including during COVID. Additionally, there's been speculation that because the Trump family owns hotels that heavily utilize H-2B seasonal visas, that would be another impetus to do this. Either way, while the U.S. Department of Labor was shut down, it really made it so that a number of these programs couldn't move forward. Now, specifically for H-2B seasonal visas, Friday's announcement was a huge relief. For late season winter employers, they need the U.S. Department of Labor to finalize their portions of the petition so that they can file with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services and have workers for this winter season, which for many winter properties is already underway. For summer season organizations, especially for those that have April 1st start dates, we are getting very, very close each day to the January 1st deadline where we need to file the H-2B visa petitions with the U.S. Department of Labor in order to get those organizations into the random lottery. That lottery dictates opportunities for out-of-country recruiting, as well as how long delays will be for the U.S. Department of Labor to then review the next portion of the petition. The issue is, in order to be able to file that January 1st application, and again, this applies to the April 1st organizations, we first need to have a prevailing wage back from the U.S. Department of Labor. And while the government shutdown was going on, and while the U.S. Department of Labor was closed, we couldn't access the U.S. Department of Labor website to be able to draft prevailing wage applications, prepare prevailing wage applications, and we would have run into the same issue with the next filing at the U.S. Department of Labor stage. So Friday's announcement was huge for any employer that utilizes foreign labor, especially H-2B seasonal visas and H-2A agricultural visas. Now, what does this mean in the bigger context of things, right? Number one is it continues to show the U.S.'s reliance on foreign labor, right? That despite all of the things in the news, Friday's announcement shows that the government really does understand the importance of international labor and how much so many employers across the country rely on these wonderful individuals. In addition to that, for our H-2B seasonal visa clients, I think Friday's announcement also gives hope about cap relief, right? There's a huge supply and demand issue for H-2B visas. I think Friday's announcement really gives hope that the government does understand the need for these visas and will open up more numbers once the government reopens, so that organizations have a easier path and a more tangible path to being able to recruit out-of-country workers, bring back returners, and all of that. So, good news all around. This is definitely a moving target. One of the other things that we're watching right now is, will there be delays due to a bottleneck that may have occurred due to the Department of Labor being closed for a month? But the good news is we are already seeing winter petitions move forward, and we're getting things back from the U.S. Department of Labor. So more to come on this. We will definitely be keeping our clients updated, and we're always here for any questions you have. As always, feel free to share this with anyone that might find this helpful, which is basically any employer that utilizes international labor. And thank you all for taking the time to listen. I hope everyone has a great day and week ahead. Take care, everyone.